Tonight on KGW News, a nationwide day of action prompts walkouts, boycotts, and sacrifice.
It's never fun saying no to sales when small businesses really struggle.
As nurses push back on ICE agents they say are coming inside local hospitals.
We are here today because hospitals must never be weaponized.
Plus, Seahawks up for sale? What Paul Allen's estate has to say about the latest report. And later,
oh, Vonnie's in the netting! Oh my goodness me!
a crash in the downhill for star skier Lindsey Vonn. What she's saying tonight, just 1 week before the Olympics. But first to our top story in Washington County, where deputies say they have arrested a 21-year-old man accused of raping a teenager. I want to bring in Catherine Cook here in the newsroom. And Catherine, detectives are worried there could be other victims in this case.
Absolutely, David, is what they fear. And now that the suspect is behind bars, they hope anyone else connected to him will find the courage to come forward.
Take a look at this mugshot. His name is Alexis Giovanni Leva Lopez. He's 21 and lives in Cornelius. On Monday, Washington County Sheriff's detectives arrested him on multiple charges, including rape and strangulation. They say the victim, a young teen girl he met on Snapchat, then convinced to meet him in person. Investigators released this photo because they think there could be other victims who haven't come forward yet.
Sometimes what we see is when people know that they're not the only affected one, it might make it a little bit easier to take that step of courage to come forward and speak with us.
Detective Mark Pavolny says in this case, the suspect picked up the victim in Vancouver Christmas Eve, then drove her back to Cornelius, where he sexually assaulted her and gave her drugs and alcohol. While this case started on Snapchat, Pavolny says predators target all social media apps and even gaming sites looking for young victims. He wants predators to know investigators are online too, looking for them.
We have multiple undercover online profiles where we go and pretend to be children, so we can try to find these people before they find a real-world victim.
It's how they arrested this man earlier this month. 36-year-old Andrew Graham, a sexual assault suspect. Undercover investigators caught him trying to lure a 15-year-old girl for sex.
Anyone with information on either of those cases is encouraged to call the Washington County Sheriff's Office. We've posted contact info and a case number on KGW.com. David.
Yeah, Catherine Cook in the newsroom there. Catherine, thank you. New tonight, Eugene police have declared an anti-ICE protest at the federal building a riot after they received reports some protesters had broken in. Video from our Eugene affiliate shows what appears to be tear gas in the streets deployed by authorities, we understand, in order to disperse people trying to enter the building through broken windows. Police say civilians were inside the building. It's not clear if anyone's been injured or if this is over. Eugene police adding federal officials, some said from Portland, are now taking the lead. All right, so-called ICE out strikes swept the country today with business closures, marches, and a financial boycott. It was all in protest of ICE enforcement and tactics and as a response to the recent killing of 2 people by federal agents in Minnesota. You're looking at video from Los Angeles, Minneapolis, Phoenix, and right here in Portland. Some local businesses shut down in solidarity. Others stayed open but found a way to contribute to the cause. For example, Bold Coffee and Books in Goose Hollow donated 20% of its proceeds to the Portland Immigrant Rights Coalition. Another spot, Always Here bookstore, was open for the community to gather but did not take any sales. And William Temple House thrift store decided to be cash only, it said, to keep 100% of the money spent local.
I hope it shows the economic cost of continuing to target the immigrant community, continuing to escalate violence that disrupts whole communities, disrupts business.
Students also walked out at several Portland public schools. Meanwhile, tonight we are learning the Justice Department has opened a federal civil rights investigation in the death of Alex Preddy. Preddy, an ICU nurse, was shot and killed last Saturday by Border Patrol agents during an immigration enforcement operation in Minneapolis. Homeland Security says the FBI will lead that probe, which will examine the actions of the federal agents involved. The agency has previously said a similar investigation was not needed in the case of Renee Good, who was also shot and killed in the Twin Cities by federal agents.
This is about one simple principle. No one should be afraid to seek medical care. And healthcare workers can do their jobs.
So Oregon nurses and lawmakers are pushing a new bill, one that would limit what federal agents can do inside Oregon hospitals. In recent months, healthcare workers have reported feds violating hospital policies when bringing detainees in for medical care. Here's how one nurse from Legacy Emanuel in North Portland describes what's going on.
They do not wear proper identification. They present in clinical areas where they should not be. And they have been involved in situations that interfere with patient care and staff responsibilities.
Today, lawmakers introduced the proposed Health Care Without Fear Act, which, if passed, would 1, restrict agents' access to private areas unless they have a warrant, 2, protect immigration status as private health data, and 3, require supervisors, not frontline staff, to deal with agents. It's worth noting Legacy Health earlier this week sent the nurses union a cease and desist letter saying it was making false or misleading statements about hospital policies. We'll keep you posted on that. Let's take you outside now on this Friday night. A live look from our Vancouver sky camera where the rain has wrapped up and things are drying out on what is a fairly mild evening throughout the Portland Metro. Celine Stevens is in for Matt with a first look at your weekend forecast. Happy Friday, Celine.
Happy Friday, David. Yes, Saturday especially. That's the day I think that everybody's been waiting for. We're going to see really mild temperatures, near record-breaking, in fact. But we're almost there. 47 degrees right now tonight here at home. Looking at our sky camera at the Wells Fargo Tower, winds coming out of the northwest at 3 miles per hour. But looking at our radar again, that rain was earlier in the afternoon. We saw over 1/10 of an inch of rain, but not heavy rainfall at all. And as we got past around 6:30, 7 p.m., we really saw that rain pretty much leave our area. And that's how it's going to be as we get into the rest of our evening into Saturday. Saturday shaping up to be mostly dry, really. But taking a quick look to focus on temperatures, again, 47 here at home. We're looking at 50 in Troutdale, 47 as well in Vancouver, 48 in Hillsborough. Lots of 40s right now, but the coast is still keeping it nice and mild in the 50s, 54 in Tillamook and 52 in Newport. And so looking at our radar, you'll see our futurecast, we're going to have that rain be pretty dry. We're going to be dry tomorrow, I should say. Sunday, the rain does return early in the morning. It's going to continue through the early afternoon hours before we get to the evening, and then it'll be dry again. And David, we have a really nice week coming next week. I'll tell you more about it in a bit.
Looking forward to that. Even the mid-40s are feeling pretty good. Thanks, Celine. To get you caught up on tonight's other headlines now, take a look at the damage done this afternoon when a driver crashed into a Vancouver apartment building. This is around 4:30 off Southeast 139th Avenue. Police say the driver was able to walk over to first responders who took them to the hospital. The crash displaced one person who lives in that apartment. In Salem, police say they recovered an AR-style rifle seen here from a driver arrested in a violent road rage incident. 29-year-old Jonathan Muniz is accused of ramming a car multiple times with his truck earlier this month and breaking the driver's window with the gun before demanding money. Muniz was arrested on Thursday, some 2 weeks after the alleged attack. And federal transportation safety officials have concluded that retired NASCAR driver Greg Biffle, who grew up in Clark County, was not flying his jet when it crashed last month, killing him and 6 others. The NTSB's preliminary report indicating an experienced pilot was at the controls, but the person in the co-pilot seat was not qualified to fly the plane. The report said instruments on the left side of the cockpit, including the altimeter, had issues once they were in the air, and the pilot temporarily transferred control to the co-pilot to try and troubleshoot. The jet crashed while trying to land at a North Carolina airport in December. Developing tonight, Portland firefighters are sounding the alarm on possible budget cuts. The mayor's office has asked bureaus across the city to figure out what both a 3% and 10% reduction in their budgets would look like. Portland's Fire Chief Lauren Johnson says a 10% reduction would mean a loss of $26 million. The firefighters union says that could equate to 42 fewer firefighters on duty, the closure of as many as 10 fire stations, and consequently slower response times.
While we're going to do everything we can to save life and property, we know that these cuts will just have a devastating impact on our ability to do that.
Mayor's Wilson office stressing this is still early in the budget process and no decisions have been made. The mayor is set to release his proposed budget in April.